Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I've got all the 2 rolls of the new film from Ilford, the Ortho 80, and I'm quite excited about shooting it. I've got 2 rolls. One I'm going to shoot on another video, possibly a seascape or some street photography. I don't know what yet, but we'll figure that one out when we come to it. And the other roll I'm going to play around with in this video in the darkroom. I'm quite intrigued to know what happens if I handle this film under the safe light in the darkroom. And also I'll set up a little scene behind me here. I'll show you that in a moment. I'm going to do a few photographs with it using a few filters and see what happens to the colours, especially red, because this film isn't sensitive to red, to anything red or in particular red light. So I'll be interested to see what happens when I take photographs and there's red in the scene. You know, I presume it's just going to go black. I've never used ortho film before, so you know it makes sense for me to play around with this stuff first before I go and shoot anything outside or anything that's going to cost me time. So let's get straight onto it. I'll show you what I've got, what I'm going to be doing, and then we'll get into the experiments and see what happens at the end. So this is what I'm going to be using for my experiment. I've got my Chinon CE5 camera. I've got an orange filter, a yellow filter and a green filter, and empty film cases as well. I'll tell you about that in a second. Got a timer. I've also got some HP5, and inside here is my ortho film. I've also got a shot glass and some Kodak D76, and I've got 2 jugs, one for my developer and one for my fixer. And this is the scene that I'm going to be shooting. Got an array of different colours. I've got the red, green, got a dark grey, a blue, yellow and a black. The 2 bottles have got red tops on, and I'm going to shoot this scene with the Ilford Ortho without any filters, and then I'm going to shoot it with the green filter, the yellow filter and the orange filter as well. Now, if you've seen most of my videos before, I don't know if you look back at my videos, you remember me making these bucket lights. These work perfectly, these bucket lights for my printing in the darkroom. My papers never get fogged. I did all sorts of tests, and these are the bucket lights that I use for my darkroom, for my safe lights. I've also got a Kodak Beehive light as well, and I need to make sure that these safe lights are safe. So I'm just going to do a quick test and I'll show you what I do for that. Okay, so the first thing I need to do, I've just turned all the darkroom lights off, is take a strip of ortho film. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit, don't want to waste it all. Pop the ortho back in the can, and then place a bar over the top, like so. And turn the darkroom lights on. Okay, so with the darkroom lights on, either side of the bar of the film is now heavily exposed, and in the developer that will go jet black, and I'm hoping that the piece I covered, which was in the middle, which is now exposed to red light, should be clear. So let's get my D76. Now I've heated the D76 up to 45 degrees because this is stock as well, and that's usually 8 minutes development time. I'm only experimenting. I just want to see what happens. So I've heated up to 45, and I'm just going to leave it in there for a minute. So I'll put my timer on for a minute. In it goes, and I'll just agitate like so, and I'll leave that in there for about a minute. You can already see the sides going dark because the chemical's so hot. It's literally cooking the film. I wouldn't recommend this for any photographs that you cherish, but it's okay for experimenting and playing around. So I'm leaving that in there for a minute. I've got 20 seconds to go, so I'll turn the camera off now and we'll come back to it when it's dry. Okay, so I've just developed that in D76 for a minute, and I've fixed it. I haven't stopped it, didn't bother with that, just went straight into the fixer. So you can see a little bit of light has leaked underneath the bar, but if we put it against, you can see it's see-through. I'm not sure whether the light has affected the film or not, so the next test I'm going to have to do is exactly the same, but with all the lights off in the darkroom, so it's completely dark, and then put the 2 together. So that's my first test done. This is the first test, and this was the second. This one was with the red lights on, this one was without, and you can see clearly without the red lights this is far more clearer than this. So I've got a problem at the moment with my safe lights. So let's try another option. So I'll just show you around my darkroom. So that's one bucket light there. That's a beehive light. And over this side, another bucket light. So I'm going to turn the 2 bucket lights off. So I'm just left with the beehive light. I think these are more orange than red. And with Ortho film, it should be a red safe light, not orange. So let's do it again. And here we go. This is the one I've just done with the bucket lights off, just the beehive on. And this is the one in complete darkness. Let's put them together and have a look. So maybe a densometer will see a difference, but an eyesight, they're completely the same to me. So I'm going to go with the beehive light and continue my experiments. Okay, so for those who've never seen me do this before, in fact you haven't ever seen me do this before because I've only ever done this in the dark, but I'm taking a strip out of the can. Oh. Put the rest of it back inside the canister. Cock the shutter on the camera, and I'm just going to place the strip inside the camera. Get it on the sprockets there so it's snug. There it is. That's it. Now I can turn the lights on, that film's nice and safe, and take my first shot. That's it, shot done. Okay, so I've just heated my D76 back up to just over 40 degrees. So let's plop it in, and I'm going to agitate it after I've plopped it in and then leave it. So plop it in 1 minute on the timer, agitate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should pretty much start seeing that coming through. A little bit of movement. Normally I'd agitate this all the way through, but just want you guys to see the image coming through. You see that? I'm going to do 5 more turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when that minute's up, I'll put it in the fixer. Out it comes. Into the fix. Right, so change of plan. I shot the first photograph without any filters at all, but instead of taking separate strips for each filter, I decided to put the new roll in and shoot yellow, green and orange filters on the scene, all in the same roll, and then I'll put them in the development. So they're all inside here at the moment. The red lights are on, so that's good. There it is there, you can see that. Let's take the film out and cut it where I need it to be cut. About there. Okay, that's for another day. Put that inside the container. And I made a small mark where I started my photographs. Hopefully we can find that. Pretty tricky, you guys. I'm working behind this camera. And there's the mark there. That is the leader. Right there. We don't want that. This is the bit we want with our images on. So I've got yellow, green and orange filters on here. I've just heated up my D76. I'm just going to throw it straight in for a minute. Off it goes. You should. Oh, let's bring the camera closer. I'm just going to agitate it for a minute so they're all developed the same. You can see it's starting to come through already. You can see it just coming through now, but I'll leave it there for the full minute, the same as the other one. So while I'm tidying up my darkroom, ready for a little tiny print session, I'll let you know what I've been up to while I was off camera. I did the first shot on Ortho Film without any filters on the camera whatsoever, and then I thought rather than just do strips with each filter, I may as well put a whole strip in the camera and then change the filters as I went along. Made more sense, and then throw that strip into the hot developer and see what we get. So I've already done that. The negatives are drying, and then I went off and shot the HP5. I did exactly the same thing with the HP5, except with the HP5 I included a red filter. Now I didn't include the red filter on the Ortho film because obviously if I shoot a red filter on the camera using the Ortho, it's not sensitive to red, so that's what you'll get, just a blank negative. So don't put any red filters on your camera if you're going to shoot Ortho film. It's not sensitive to red light, so it's not going to pick it up. And if you put a filter on the front, it's just going to be transparent negative. So I'm going to tidy up the darkroom, get ready for a print session while those negs are drying, and then I'll show you my results at the end. So this is a contact print that I've just made. Hopefully you can see this is a bit of sheen coming over this side, but forget about that because we're not going that far. The top line is the Ortho film and the bottom line is the HP5. It's not a comparison between the two whatsoever. I just wanted to see the difference between a panchromatic and an Ortho film. So this was with no filters, these two. This was with the yellow filter, then the green filter, then the orange filter. And as you can see on the HP5 we have got something on the red. It's made the red lighter, which it would do putting a red filter on. But let's go back down to the end of the scale where there was no filters. The Ortho, I could see the red tray has gone completely dark, and so has the two red caps on the bottles. And on the HP5, even though it's cooked and needs to be a little bit lighter, I can still see that I've got detail in the red tray and the two caps. And if we move along to the next filter, which was the yellow filter, you can see the Ortho film much better now. You can see the red tray is dark as well as the bottle caps as well. And on the HP5 the red tray is like this mid-grey, and so too are the bottle caps. No other changes really between the greens and the yellow bottle and the blue box. But yeah, it's just interesting to see. So that was just a bit of fun experiment with me in the darkroom, playing around with Ortho film. That's why I bought two rolls, one to waste in the darkroom and another one to shoot outside. So this experiment was just seeing me playing around with the film, seeing if I could develop it under safe lights, which I can, apart from these bucket lights, but the beehive light was all right. And also to see what it does with the reds and different filters. So, you know, I managed to just educate myself a little tiny bit with the film before I go out and shoot it next time. So that's going to be my next video, is shooting the Ortho film. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments, what I should shoot. Portrait, seascape, landscape, architecture, maybe some street photography. Let me know in the comments what you reckon. And also let me know if you're already shooting Ortho film. What's your favourite subject? What's your favourite developer? I'd be interested to know. I'm sure others will as well. Also the D76, I wouldn't recommend cooking it like I did. I just did that for speed for the video and for these short little tiny tests. I've heard that D76 with the Ortho film at stock would be 8 minutes. So that's what I'll probably use next time. Anyway guys, I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed, and got to say thank you to the guys that support me on Patreon, and also the guys that buy my prints. Very much appreciated for supporting my channel. And Mr. Peter Elgar, I spoke to you about this stuff, mate. Thanks a lot for your support. Cheers guys. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss the next one.